Alright guys, so today we are doing the exact same beginner makeup tutorial with the 5 drugstore products, the starter makeup kit video that I've done. If you haven't watched it, make sure you click the link up here and go watch that video. Today's video will be a affordable brushes and tools video. So I'll mention the brushes that I used in the previous video towards the end of this video, but the brushes that I have here I purchased specifically for you guys because it was the best starter brush kit that I could find in the most affordable one. So I will leave the information for these brushes in the description box, as well as any coupon codes I can find. But they are from BHCOSMETICS, and these are the brushes. And I believe they were on sale for like $22. And BHCOSMETICS always has a sale going on, so you definitely can get these for under $25. And you get 13 brushes, which is pretty good for that price. So you're literally paying maybe $2 a brush. So this is their 13-piece Studio Pro brush set, and I like the back of the box because it says what each brush is for. I just wanted to basically give this video to you guys so you compare the brushes with the beginner tutorial. So once you buy your 5 makeup products to get you, a nice clean look, you have the brushes that you need as well to achieve the look. In addition to the brushes, I do have sponges that I use. One of them is an EcoTools Perfecting Blending Sponge. This is one of my go-to sponges. As you can see, this one is used. I did wash it, but I use a lot of these all the time. And then I also have this one right here, which is a Real Technique sponge. They are really good as well. They're a little bit more expensive than the EcoTools. This is the body blender. Now I'll tell you guys the difference between the body blender and the regular size sponge. As you can see, they're 2 different sizes. So I'll tell you details about that at the end, but we're just gonna get started and jump right in. I am gonna use the E.L.F primer. This is the primer that I mentioned at the end of the video last time. Primer isn't required, but it's like if you're an artist and you or like a homeowner and you go to paint your walls, it's similar to priming the walls in your home. It's gonna make the color pop and stand out more. It will help the paint adhere to the walls more. So that's what your primer on your face does. It basically helps you to get your makeup to stay on all day, but it also helps those colors pop out and the pigmentation and stuff show up a little better. So we have our face primed, and I use my fingers to prime my face because it's similar to just moisturizing your face with like a lotion. Next I started off with was the brows. Right now my brows need to be done. I usually tweeze my brows, and I meant to do that before this video, so I'm sorry guys. I will be doing an in-depth brow beginner video for this whole beginner series. I'm gonna break it down. So I'm gonna do a video all on brows. I'm gonna do a video just on foundations, all that jazz that I've mentioned to you before. So stay tuned for that. But for the brows, we are again using the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette. And I used the darkest color in this palette, which is the Contour shade. And the brush that I'm going to use is this is number 13 out of this packet. And on the back of the box it says angled liner / spoolie brush. So this is the brush. This end up here is the angled brush, and then this end down here is the spoolie. A spoolie is basically a brush to brush your brow hairs out. So especially for people who have curlier brow hairs, you want to make sure you brush your brow hairs in an upward direction, to make all of your hairs go in one direction, and it just helps you, it helps your brows look better. You just want to brush it out. It's like you're not going to walk out of the house without brushing your hair. You want to brush your brow hairs. So I did that in an upward direction, and then as I kind of curve as I go towards the tail end. And if your brow hairs are long, you will need to like trim them, which again I'll go in depth about that in the brow video. And then we're just going to take that angled side, the angled brush side, this, and we're going to tap into this product. So I'm tapping lightly once on each side. You can kind of see how much product is on the brush. So again, it was white, so you see the brown product on the brush. And then I'm going to outline my brow. So I'm starting on the bottom, and I'm just going to outline my brow. So starting on the bottom, we got a nice little arch going on, and then I'll start to blend that out. So I like to go back and forth between the brow end and the spoolie end, because the spoolie does help you like blend out the brows as well. So you want to go back and forth and just brush them out, and it helps it look more natural. At the end, I'm going to share with you guys alternatives. If you don't have access to purchasing this online, I will share with you a brand that has pretty decent alternative brushes at a decent price. Alright, so now the brows are pretty much shaped up. The next step is to carve out the brows, which we use the LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is in the shade Fawn. And this product is nice because it has an applicator already on the product. So there's like a brush tip. And that's what I use to apply the concealer. So I squeeze a little bit out, and then I kind of just brush it up under the same area where I did the brows. So if I did it a little bit too wide, you can also put this concealer on top of hairs that you didn't get to pluck. So say if you're in between getting your brows waxed or something, you just use your concealer to help cover it up. So that helps carve it out. This brush set came with two different brushes that I would consider concealer brushes, but on the box they say small flat shader brush and a flat shader brush. So this is number 7 and number 9. And that's what they look like. This is the smaller one. This is the bigger one. They're both flat shader brushes. So these brushes can be used for packing on eyeshadow on the lid. But right now we're going to use this to blend out the concealer around the brows. So I'm going to take the flat shader brush, the number 7, and just use this brush to kind of pull that concealer down. Because you don't want to go straight in like this because you may have too much product on. So you want to blend it down so that excess product, that excess concealer doesn't like move up into your brows and mess up the brow work that you just did. So you want to kind of like pull that down. And once you do that, then you want to blend it out. So then you can go in and blend it out this way. You can also blend it out with your fingers, which I think I did that in the first video. But if you prefer not to do it with your fingers, you can do it with a brush like so, and it looks like that. Again, you can go in with your finger, and this actually makes it look a lot more natural in my opinion using your finger. But if you don't want to use your finger, then you can use the brush. And then again, we're going to do the same thing up top. We're going to drag it up. And then we're going to blend it out. And I'm just going in with that finger again and blending it out. So boom, now you have a brow that looks like it was just wax versus just a brow. Okay, so now that our brows are done, the next step is the face, and we're going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. This is in the shade Spicy Brown 338. I noticed in one video, or someone did a reaction video, and she was like, sis, how you put the foundation on your face? And I never thought about that being an important thing. So this foundation right here does not have a pump. It's just a circle opening. And so, disrespectful. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a little bit on my hand. So I'm just going to do this. And you want to be careful because a lot will come out. So, boom. That's the product. It's on my hand. So the tool that I'll use to blend this foundation out on my face is going to be the flat top buffing brush. And this is the number 4. It looks like this. This is the number 4. And as you can see, this is just a flat top brush. There are many brushes like this available for you. So again, I will mention different brushes that you can buy at the drugstore that are similar to this. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to do one dab in the product, and then I'm going to start placing it around the face. And the shade might be just a little off, but that's what concealer is for. And I'm just dabbing back onto my hand and then putting the product on my face. Now, you might ask, well, how much product is enough product? How much product is too much product? You always want to start little and then build up. So the little dab that I put on my hand is just about gone. And I have not placed any on my forehead or anything like that. And then also, if you look up close, there's still like a few of my dark marks and acne peeking through. And yes, I know it's a little bit different color than my neck, but like I said, the concealer gonna save it. Concealer gonna save it.
I would like to see it.
But so once you do this, you wanna build it up. So you don't wanna just come in heavy, putting everything on your face, because that's when you get like a cakey face. So right now, we're not looking too bad, but we want a little bit more coverage. So I'm just gonna put just a little bit more on the hand. In your forehead, you don't need to put too much product, because all of this is going to be concealer, so you really don't need much foundation on your forehead besides the excess on your brush. So this is the amount I added, not too much, literally like I can dip my brush in here twice before it's gone. So I'm going to just put this on top of the areas where those spots were peeking through. I'm going to go over my eyelid as well. And just put that. Usually in this area of my face is where I need more coverage. But again, you don't have to go too heavy because you're going to conceal there as well. Or highlight with your concealer. So now I'm going to take the excess that's on my brush and just kind of buff this in. And I'm not like doing sweeping motions. I feel like sweeping motions are great for like if you're going out to the pool but you want to look polished and put on a little foundation. Sweeping motions move the product around a lot on your face, and it gives you like a lighter coverage look. I prefer to like press and move. So pressing it in, straight pressing it in like this is going to give you more coverage of the product. But if you do a little press and move with it, like you're buffing it in actually, that helps you blend it out more if you're just using like a brush to blend out the product. So I'm using the excess little foundation that I do have on this brush, just blending out my forehead. This may have to be a part 1 and part 2 because I'm doing more explaining about the techniques, but anyway. So next I like to go in, you can use a brush or a sponge to blend out your foundation. I like to use a brush first because you get more full coverage. With a sponge, the sponge is going to absorb some of the product as you blend it in. So what I like to do after I apply my foundation with the brush, I take a blending sponge, and I usually use the butt of the sponge, which the butt of the sponge is usually like the round part if it's angled like that. So this would be the butt of the sponge. So what I like to do is just blend out even further. So this is gonna pick up excess product on my face that might make me look cakey. So I'm just gonna pounce this on my face, and this blending sponge is damp, and I will insert like a little video on the screen showing you how I dampen my sponge, because damp isn't soaking wet, damp isn't dry. You want to actually dampen your sponge. So if you don't know how to do that, this little video should help a little bit. Okay guys, so when you have your blending sponge, this is the Eco Tools one. So when you dampen it, you want to get the sponge wet, and see how big it's expanded? As you clean out, and then on a clean rag, but boom. So now that I blended that out, I look more skin-like, less cakey. And then look, it got a little bit dirtier, which means it picked up all that excess product. So we're gonna go in with the concealer, and we're gonna highlight our face. And again, this has the applicator on the end, so you could just squeeze that product, and then you can put it right up under the eyes. And you really don't have to use that much. This is like my favorite part, and the way that I like my makeup to look is very highlighted under the eye. So that's why I use the amount that I used. And right here, I'm just kind of blending it down with the brush. I'm not squeezing out any excess product. I'm just blending it out a little bit before I go in with the sponge. And I do a little bit on my chin, so my chin can like pull in my neck colors. So this is gonna make my foundation match better with my neck. So we're gonna put a little bit on the chin. So the chin area, the under eye area, and the center of my forehead, really small area, I'm gonna conceal / highlight. I'm using concealer to highlight. That's gonna make it blend in with my neck more. Some people will go and they'll put concealer right here to sharpen like their contour, and that can help you blend it more as well. Out of the two sponges that I showed you, I would recommend the smaller one for beginners, because the smaller your sponge, the smaller your brush, the more control you have over it, the more precise it's gonna be. So you don't want to go in with this sponge to blend out your concealer if you've never blended out concealer before. You want to use one small like this that has the like slanted side, and you'll use that to blend out the concealer like that. Boom. I wanted to show you guys this one because this one like makes it go 10 times quicker because it has more surface area. I don't really recommend the tiny ones because I feel like they're hard to hold in my opinion, and two, like, it doesn't help me with blending in my opinion. That's just my personal preference. Alright, so now we have like that highlighted look. So again, the Coty Airspun powder is the powder that we're using. And you can apply this with a brush. I feel like it applies more evenly. I don't know. I'm half and half. The more experienced, like when I do like a real beat slay and I want to look like flawless, I'll use a brush to apply my powder under the eye. But I feel like for beginners it's easier if you use a sponge. Again, this is the same sponge I've been using the whole time. It's damp. I used it to blend out, I used the butt of it to blend out my foundation. I used the slanted side to blend out my concealer. And now here I like to shake it in the cap so it kind of gets an even coating, or it's about the same. And then I literally just press it, and you see how like it looks like that. You can either blow it off, like, and blow off the excess, or you could dab the excess off on your hand, and that helps. One, it evens out the product on the sponge, and then it lightens up the coverage so you're not getting like cake face. So then I'm just pressing this into the skin, and the more you press into the skin and blend it out as if it's concealer, the less cakey it'll look. So like right now, you see the difference. Like this side looks more like skin finish. This side is more dewy. If you want a dewy look, you do not have to set with powder. I just feel like throughout the course of the day, you're gonna get oily. I mean, you're gonna get oily regardless, but you have I'd rather have a beautiful dew later in the day than like being dewy before I step out the door, and then by the time I get to work I'm looking like you can fry chicken on my face. But as you can see, we're starting to match the neck. So the next step would be contouring the face, and this time I'm going to use the Sculpt shade in the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette. And the brush I'll be using is the number 3, which on the box says small contour brush. So again, the instructions on the box are helpful. And I'm just going to press in, and look how much product is already on the brush. By the way, this is the brush. It looks flat top, but it's a little bit more rounded. And I'm just going to blow off the excess because this is really pigmented. And then we're just going to go like right up under, like you'll feel like right here, back here is like where my jaw is connected. So you can kind of feel for your jaw. Open your mouth, close it. And when you feel that little bone move, that's like right under where you're going. So that bone goes like right here, up under the cheeks. So that's where you're going to blend out that contour color. In this one, I am doing like circling motions because it's a powder. And so you see from the side, it looks really snatched, and then from the front, it looks like a subtle snatching. And I like to do it angled up, like towards the jawbone, so we can be snatched. Okay. And then we're gonna do the forehead. And then guys, like I said, this is the dark to deep palette that I was super excited to try, because previously they just had the medium to dark, or medium to dark. This is dark to deep, so this is a little bit darker on my skin tone. So the correct one that I usually would use is the medium to dark, but you can still make this one work. So bada boom, we have the forehead. I'm doing a little bit on the jawbone because as you can see, there's a natural shadow there. So that's what the contour is. It's, you know, creating that shadow illusion. So boom, boom, boom. We're gonna do that on both sides. And now we have a full face look. So you don't want to forget to dust off the excess powder that we pressed into the face. Although there's not much excess powder on my face right now, you still want to blend it out some more. So the brush I'm using for that is number 2, and that's the tapered powder brush. So again, your powder brushes are going to be like bigger, and I'm just gonna dust basically my entire face. Go under the eye, up in here, up here, blend that out. So in the previous video, I put some of the contour or the sculpt shade on my lid. So I'm gonna I'm using the number 6 brush, which is a blending crease brush. It looks like this. I'm showing you the brushes because you can find literally brushes that are similar to this anywhere, TJ Maxx, all that jazz. The difference in the brushes and their like brands are what they're made out of and how they feel on the face. So you don't want nothing that feels like a straw broom on your face. You want something that feels a little bit more softer. But we're going to use that, just dab into that product, tap off the excess, and then we're just going to blend this over the lid. And this part really, it's really hard to, I'm not going to say it's hard to mess this part up, but you're blending the same shade across your entire eye with windshield wiper motion. And then we're going on the lid. And you just want to blend it out. You know what blending, you don't want a milkshake and you put strawberries in it and bananas in it, and then when you blend it up you got chunks of strawberries and bananas in it. You want it to be blended all the way through. So you just want to keep brushing that product around. You don't have to keep adding product because that's when you'll like go overboard, but you want to just keep blending it out. And so that's what we did. We got a little shade on the eye. We're going to go in and highlight. Number 10 is a lip brush. It looks like this. But I usually don't use a brush to apply like my lipsticks because I don't do lipsticks in the pan. So I'm gonna use this because we're all about multi-use products. I'm gonna use this to highlight right here in my inner corner. So the inner corner is the inside of your eye. Kind of like where your eye boogers get caught, that's your inner corner. Or tear duct. So I'm just dabbing in this highlight shade right here. And then I'm just placing that right there in the inner corner. And this makes you look more awake. It kind of opens up your eye. So that's why people put like inner corner highlight. For the brow bone, I'm going to use a slightly fluffier brush. This is the number 8, which is the small pointed crease brush. So this is really used for your lid, but again, multi-use product. We're going to dab in that highlight shade, and we're going to put this on the brows. Blend it out a little bit. Yes. Just like that. And then for highlighting the nose, I like to use a smaller brush like that as well. And I'll just do like a little explanation point. This is my favorite highlight style on the nose. But it's totally up to you. It's like a little highlight, boom, and then boom. Like a little explanation point. That's my go-to. And then for the cheekbone, so woo, everybody loves a good fan brush, sis. And this fan brush is number 1. It is the deluxe fan brush, and people usually do this number right here. They'll go I don't like doing that because I feel like I don't have control over where I'm placing the highlight, so I don't really care for brushes this big to do my highlight. Now you can, so I'm going to show you how you can use this, but I'll also show you how you could use a smaller brush to do so. So I'm just gonna dip in like that to the highlighter, and then I'm gonna do a small little dip in, a small back and forth motion, and I kind of twist my mouth the opposite way, so I'm just hitting like the cheekbone portion. So boom, you got your highlight. So that is the makeup look. Last but not least, we're gonna do the mascara, which I use the Lash Paradise mascara, and sometimes I do use this in my brows as well, just to define my brow hairs. If you have darker brows or thick brow hairs, this is not a necessary step for you. This helps out the people who don't have darker brow hairs, so it helps them stand out. It's similar to a brow gel, but you're just using mascara. Again, multi-use, multi-purpose product. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. Again, the same exact tutorial, just an in-depth description of the tools that I used to apply this makeup. So I also wanted to show you guys the brushes that I use on the regular. So these I purchased specifically for you guys because I've used BHCOSMETICS brushes before. They're great quality and for a good price. But I did want to go through some of the brushes that I actually used in the video. A great dupe for the spoolie and angled brush. I believe E.L.F has one. The one that I have is from Morphe. And I will try to link all of them below. I'm not going to try. I'm going to link all of them below. The one I used last time was the Morphe E29 brush. Same thing. You got the spoolie on one end. You got the angled brush on the other. You can find these pretty much anywhere. If you don't have a spoolie, you can use a old like mascara wand, or you can, when you go to like Sephora or Ulta, they have disposable mascara wands that you can like use, so you can grab one of those. And then you could use, for the angled brush side, this is a Wet n Wild brush. And it's angled, and these brushes literally are like $1 to $6, so you can get this from the drugstore and do your brows with this brush. The second brush we used to blend out the concealer, I used a Morphe M224 brush. And if you guys want to get you some Morphe brushes, which I do recommend down the line, I will wait until Black Friday / Cyber Monday. I've been doing makeup for years, since I've been in college, so like over 5 years I would say, and I just purchased my first set of Morphe brushes last year. So I waited until Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and I got like an $100 pack of brushes for like $30, $40. I don't even know if it was that much. But if you're really wanting to invest in yourself and in your makeup journey, I would definitely recommend using Black Friday and Cyber Monday as days to do your collection shopping for your makeup collection. By that time, you should be able to have saved up over the year so you can get your brushes and get them for a discount. Anyway, a lot of talking in this video, but I'm going to give you guys all the tools you need to succeed, okay? So yes, this is Morphe M224 brush. You don't have to use this brush. Wet n Wild has a similar brush, and they don't have names, the Wet n Wild brushes, but it's a brush. These are two of them. They're both flat shader brushes. I like the smaller one for concealer. This one is a little bit too thick, so you can get this brush and use it to carve out your brows with concealer. You can also use this brush for your inner corner highlight, your tear duct highlight. And these are so cheap. Literally, these are like, this was probably $1 or $2. So these brushes, you're able to purchase multiples if you want to use them for more than one thing. So if you're doing your makeup in one day, you can buy 2 of these for a total of like $4, and you can use one for your concealer, one for your highlight, inner corner highlight. So that's that one. Then for foundation, we used the number 4 brush. It was a flat buffing brush, And I believe the brush I used was it was a Morphe brush. It's not in here, but I used a Morphe brush to apply my foundation. But there is a similar brush from E.L.F. And this is one of their buffing brushes. And it was probably $6. And it works just as well for applying your foundation. The only con I will say about E.L.F. brushes is the way the casing is set up for the brush hairs. You probably can't see it, but there's little hairs that are like coming out. So you have to repurchase these more often than others because they will kind of start coming apart. They don't just like fall apart, but eventually, like I've probably had this brush for over 2 years and just now it's starting to shed some of the brush hairs. So that's another difference between cheaper brushes and then brushes that you spend a little bit more money on. The BHCOSMETICS brushes that I had, like this is one, it's not even on their site anymore, but this brush has held me down for like, I have to say I probably had this brush for at least 5 years because I had it in college. Anyway, that's the foundation brush you can use, the E.L.F. Buffing brush. They also have a flat top brush as well that I used to use. It's just not in here right now. Next brush we used was for contour. So the contour brush that I actually use, I would recommend you getting this one because the one that I use is no longer on the website, BHCOSMETICS. This was the one, and as you can see, they were like the same, like they were in the same brush set, but it's just a small powder brush. An alternative would be E.L.F. has a contour brush and it looks like this, so you could definitely use that. Then after we contour, we use a fluffy brush to get rid of that excess dust. So I would recommend a fluffy brush like this. E.L.F. has a nice one. It's a flawless face brush, and this is from E.L.F. And this one was, I want to say, $6. I was gonna purchase an E.L.F. set for you guys, but I didn't want to do that because I know eventually they start to like shed the brow hairs, and I believe it was $50 for their brush set. You don't let me see, I don't have any in this collection, but I know it's tempting to get the E.L.F. brushes that have like the white barrel, I guess, and those are really harsh on the face. They're not as soft as the ones with the black, that's not E.L.F., with the black barrel. So I definitely recommend going the black barrel, but most of these run you $3 to $6. Some of them go up to like $9. So boom, we got the contour brush, we got the dust off excess brush, the face brush, and then what do we do next? Highlight. So E.L.F. has these, the highlight brushes that I used in the original video were Morphe brushes. So the Morphe M501, I actually have 2 of those. But E.L.F. has like a bigger one, which is a highlighting brush. And this one works pretty good as well. And then for the smaller one that I used in the tear duct, I used a Morphe brush. It was the M139. And if you want to start building your Morphe collection, Ulta does sell individual Morphe brushes, and they do range from like, I say $5-ish up to $10-ish. Unless you're going to get you like a huge brush or something, it will run you more than that for an individual brush. But you know, if you go in twice a month or something like that, you could pick up 1 or 2 brushes and eventually build your collection that way. And then for the shadow, like you can use any shadow brush. So Wet n Wild again has shadow brushes that you can use. This was a brush set from TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx brush sets are usually pretty good. They just don't have as much variety. I think I showed you everything. I did not set my face. I'm going to use the Milani Make It Dewy like we did last time. And I love this because I just look so, I don't know. I look moisturized. I look sun-kissed, you know. I like it. So I am done rambling. I promise I am done rambling. That is all. That is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this in-depth tutorial about the brushes and the tools that you need to succeed when starting your makeup journey. Okay, all right guys, so this is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup look again, but I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson even more. I hope you guys make sure you check out BH Cosmetics online. This is not a sponsored video. This is just what I've used for years, and I wanted to find the best affordable but good quality brushes for you guys. Make sure you check them out online, and they do have some brush sets available in Ulta. And then don't forget to check out the sponges. So this is Real Techniques, and then I have the Eco Tools blending sponge. Both of these are available at drugstores and Ulta, so make sure you check them out. There are always coupons available, so make sure you Google BH Cosmetics coupon 2019. I'm sure you can get up to like anywhere from 10 to 20% off of your purchase, as well as at Ulta. If you go to Ulta and buy you some sponges, they usually have a $3.50 off of $15. So make sure you check out those coupons. That one's available on Ulta's home page. I know this was a lot in this video. I do apologize for rambling, but I wanted to fit all the information that I could think of that would be helpful and important to you guys. So make sure if you didn't watch it all the way through and you skipped through, go back, watch it. It's some good stuff. And if you watched it, I love you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Shout out to y'all. We hit 50K. Right now we're almost at 57K. The 50K giveaway is about to go down. Make sure y'all stay tuned for that. And I hit 10K on Instagram. That's when I told you that this giveaway will commence when I hit 10K. So right now I'm gonna sneak in at the end of this video an extra entry opportunity. Okay, I'll be giving away $50 via Cash App. I will be giving away a $50 Sephora or Ulta gift card, as well as a hair mystery makeup box. If you are interested in doing an additional entry, drop your Cash App and Instagram name in the comment section below to enter the giveaway. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and you follow all those rules as well. I will list them in the description box. That's it for this video. I'm just kidding. Alright, so that's all for this video. I love you guys so much. Welcome to the fam. If you are new, if you're an OG subby, I love you. Thank you for growing with me and glowing with me. There's no way but up, and we rise by lifting others. Guys, that need to be my new caption. We rise by lifting others. Period, sir. That's it. I love you guys. And I will see you guys in my next video. And never forget, at the end of the day, without regrets, love yourself and be you, Tipple. Bye guys.